So it's been 7 months since the launch of Wuthering Waves, and while my first video about it was focused on my disappointment with the game as a whole due to the fact that it felt like starting a new Genshin Impact account from scratch, I do have to say that I am surprised to have stuck with it afterwards. I've been playing the game almost daily, leveling my account, doing the events, and nabbing as many characters as I possibly can without going bankrupt. And here we are at the start of 2025, Happy New Year by the way, with the launch of Wuthering Waves 2.0 patch bringing us the entirely new region of Rinasita, new story, new characters, and new echoes to grind and rage about because all of the tuners went into stats I don't need. I honestly can't believe that we have an entirely new region only 7 months after launch. That has to be like a new world record or something. So, what are my thoughts on the major 2.0 patch? Well, stick around because what I'm about to say might surprise you. As I mentioned before, I was very disappointed with Wuthering Waves at launch. I wanted a good game with amazing combat that is something different from Genshin Impact. The combat was, and still is, top-notch, offering some of the most satisfying action combat available in the gacha space right now. However, too many things were similar to Genshin's game loop. From the exploration, to the domains, to the glider, to the towers and teleporters spread across the map, and even the endgame mode. I was very disheartened to see how many similarities there were between the two. What kept me going then? Well, to be honest, not much, and I entertained the idea of quitting the game multiple times throughout the past months, but the more I played, the more invested I became, finding the fun in how convenient traveling and finding all the chests was. While I still have gripes with how the endgame focuses on time attack fights, especially with bosses like Fallacy of No Return and Inferno Rider, wasting precious time with their flying or transition phases, this game has earned its place in my daily rotation due to how much fun I've been having with it. And without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? Welcome to Venice, Italy, where you'll figure out that you don't know how to cook pasta properly and you've never actually tasted real pizza before. The Vatican has actual angels patrolling the streets, so you better say your Hail Marys and Our Fathers 3 times a day, lest you end up with an entire army of halo-bearing soldiers on your doorstep. Wait, no, those are the wrong angels! Wrong angels! The reason for our visit is to, find God. I'm not joking. That's literally what you have to do. Physically. So what better place to find God than the Vatican itself, the actual house of God? We're greeted with great fanfare. They were only missing the flute guy and everything would have been perfect. Problem is, God's not there. Go figure. They're literally hitting us with the, sorry Rover, but our God is in another castle spiel. Being the uncontested geniuses that we are, we conclude that our next destination on our path to finding God is the local bank. If you would like me to elaborate on the reason as to how we came to that conclusion, I think it was something about something money being the root of all evil. Biting my fucking tongue. Our unstoppable greed couldn't be controlled, however, and in a desperate attempt to get something to sell on the black market for more astrites, we tried to steal some of the artifacts held within and trigger an alarm. What the actual? Hey look, it was either this or selling my last kidney, and I still need that. The church finds out about this, and since stealing is a sin, sentences us to life imprisonment in hell. Crime doesn't pay, folks. Not content with our lot in life, we pick up our sword and decide to fight the demons of hell until our dying breath, except...
Oh! Did it just fire rockets?
We get help from... Bubble tape over here. Now safe, we make a pact with a demon and get Babol chewing gum as our guide through hell, much like the Virgil to our Dante's Inferno. The game, not the poem, because just like everyone else on the internet, I can't read. Don't want to sully my smooth brain with, culture. The more we follow her, the more I feel she's not really a good guide, because she keeps leading us into ambushes. I think I just found Satan. Virgil, where in the actual hell did you take me? And who the hell is this himbo? Protect me, my waifu squad! In nomine Patris et Filis et Spiritus Sancti, I exorcise you! Begone, Satan! Phew, thought I was gonna die there for a second. Wait, can you even die in hell? Oh, look who's done hiding. Orbit Bubblemint Gum, I am never following you anywhere ever again. You suck as a guide. I'm better off taking my chances with this other dude. Let's go. And that, dear viewer, is how I got out of hell. What's that? You didn't ask? Well, neither did I. So I'm not going to sit here and spoil every piece of story content available in patch 2.0, but I wanted to show off a few bits and pieces here and there because I actually think they did a good job this time around. There were a few slow moments along the way, but overall I can say that they had a good build-up that led to a satisfying conclusion with some twists and turns sprinkled in, and even set up the future of the next story very nicely without relying on some sort of abrupt cliffhanger. It was actually pleasant to take part in it. Kuro Games continues to do their best when it comes to in-game cutscenes, using a variety of techniques to make every character interaction interesting, instead of implementing the overused sit-around and spout exposition style of storytelling. You actually see the characters move or dance or take a bow or whatever it is that they are doing at that point in time, and each gesture is a unique representation of that character's emotions and personality. There are many custom poses and emotes created for specific in-game cutscenes that might seem like nothing much by themselves, but when brought together as a whole, they do enhance the experience and make it that much more entertaining to watch and convince you to stick around rather than causing you to click the skip button. I was actually impressed with the amount of action happening in the in-game cutscenes. It's to be expected in the pre-rendered ones, but actually being able to see the characters act outside of those pre-rendered cutscenes makes them that much more alive to me. Of course, with a new major patch comes a new map, and this place is full of chests to find, puzzles to solve, and side quests to do. While I haven't experienced much of the exploration or side quest content currently available, I did notice that you have more trackers that will help you easily look up what chests or loot you still need to find before you 100% a region. And speaking of 100%ing regions, new rewards have been added for doing so. You should already have some ready to collect if you fully explored the previous region, so make sure to pick those up. Another noticeable change is the world design. Where Huanlong felt gray, lifeless, and uninspired, Renacita is the exact opposite. Colorful, full of life, and full of artistic inspiration. I've seen many beautiful landscapes throughout my time in Renacita that made me stop and appreciate them. The design itself is more elaborate, the colors pop out more, and the atmosphere it creates is more noticeable and believable than ever. I can definitely say that I'm very happy with how their approach to world design has evolved. The most mind-blowing addition for me was the new flight mechanic. I can't believe they added this. It makes traversal so smooth, so fast. It has its own separate stamina bar, so you can parkour all the way until you run out of your own stamina, then just jump into flight. It feels so good. I heard you can increase the flight stamina by getting some collectibles spread across the map, but even if that wasn't the case, I already think the amount of stamina we currently have is more than enough for any of your traversal needs, unless you want to fly all the way from one end of the map to the other. The new echoes look great. I'm not a fan of the plushies, I'll be honest, but I do enjoy the masquerading musketeers quite a bit, and don't even get me started on the opera singer echo. She looks divine. The new characters look great, and they do a banging job of moving the story forward. I still don't like that almost every important character you meet is more than willing, almost desperately so, to be on your team and help you out and worship the very ground you walk on while giving you the raunchiest bedroom stare you've ever seen in your life. Maybe I'm old-fashioned, but I'd like to be able to build a rapport first before putting the bread in the oven. That, and if they're always so keen on being allies with you, how am I going to experience one of my favorite tropes since Dragon Ball Z, the enemies to allies trope? But yes, that tangent aside, the characters are great and the GP voice acting is great. Yes, I am a filthy sub-enjoyer, sue me. Still talking about characters, I am once again in awe of the quality that goes into the Wuthering Waves character models. They just look so sharp and so well defined, and the rigging is done so well that they can use these models in cutscenes without any issues, and it still looks amazing. Especially her. Yes, I am a filthy sub-enjoyer. The new bosses are interesting both aesthetically and as challenges to overcome, especially the final boss of the main quest. She is an entire spectacle in and of herself. I haven't tried my hand at the new holograms yet, but I've heard good things already, so I'm looking forward to the fights themselves. What else? Oh yes, the atmosphere around the main city is amazing. It's so full of life and music and characters going about their days, echoes doing nice little stunts for the entertainment of passers-by. And speaking of NPCs, there is a decent variety of characters that have very unique designs and are extremely memorable. Whether it be the blonde photographer with film reels coming out of his hair, the red mage looking writer that looks like he'd fit well in a Gundam anime, or the literal Pope himself, these NPCs will stand out among the crowd. To conclude, I know it's already an overused cliche at this point, but Kuro Games actually cooked with this update. I honestly had to forcefully tear myself away from the game to make this video because I just wanted to keep playing the game as much as possible and level up my Carlotta. Yes, I got her, yes! So, if you're a new player looking to start or an old player that gave up on the game a while back and are looking to make a return, now is the time. And if by any chance you don't want to give it a shot because you still need to complete the previous region, fret not, my child, for you can begin your quest to find God immediately upon login. But that's gonna be it for this video. Join us next time when the festivities begin in full and we meet literal Jesus. If you've enjoyed this sanity-lacking montage, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, have a good one.